Welcome to Georgia.
Well, it's live. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. On that, we just made it. Cheers. It was a day, but we got her done.
What is it? It's 5:00 what?
It's 5:09.
So tired.
What a day. But we got her done.
Where did we start today?
Cumberland Island.
Yeah, right. The top of.
Yeah,
Cumberland Island.
but I guess we really started the trip yesterday.
Yeah, it's been 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days to get here with a slight interlude during the night.
We did, what did we say, 100 miles in, was it? Or,
In 2 days, yeah.
yeah, 100 miles. We did 100 miles in 2 days. Hey guys, we'll go to comments here in a little bit. We got a few things to talk to you about and let you know how where we are and what have you.
I should do the lives on Marty's channel, more viewers. You know what? We're in this together, and my videos are. I'm trying to do the high production ones.
Ooh, I don't look too good.
And we're into. What's that? Oh yeah. How was the quality, guys? Wish they had less engine troubles. Yeah, I hear you, man. I guess that's the nature of the older boat. Truth. Although we're working them out, and you know, there's no better way than figuring out problems and working them out than actually diving in and using it. And yeah, and
sure.
We are knocking things off the list left and right.
Where are we at?
Why are your videos become really inconsistent? Ryan asks, and that's because every waking hour has been chock full. Like I said, I'm so tired just navigating the boat. Yesterday, we got my dogs to the vet, which was an issue. I was terribly worried about them. Bayard seems like he's doing okay. He passed all his tests. It was about, I think it was more expensive than the heat exchanger was to find that out. But they also needed other things. Bayard was due for his rabies vax. They had to get their heartworm tests in order to get medication for heartworms. All you dog owners know that. So that had to be done. So it was expensive, but a whole bunch of things got done, and most importantly, Bayard, I guess, is going to be fine. He just had a bacterial infection, they said. But yeah, dude, I mean, to answer Ryan's question, I have sat at the computer so many times trying to get the video at Titusville done, and I can't do it. You know, we had guests on board. In the middle of the night, recently, I've been dragging anchor a lot, so I can't sleep at night, and I'm like, you know, I find video work to be a creative process. I have to really.
I have to close the door. It's raining outside.
Yeah, the rain is coming in. Video looks very grainy, says A Lang or A Long.
Yeah.
I can't see. I need my readers.
Yeah, we can see that it is.
Woo, it is very grainy. We're in the middle of nowhere. We are in the middle of nowhere.
There's a storm.
And there's a storm.
As y'all can see, probably out the window, we got all the windows closed.
Decided to pay for your vet. Oh man, Richard. Thank you. And you know what? There's been so many generous folks that have been helping me out along this journey. That's why, you know, Chris was one of them. Chris and his wife.
Phone.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they hung out the past couple of days at Cumberland Island. We had an awesome time, kind of giving back a little bit, and I wouldn't trade some of that stuff for the world. So many things in the way of videos. I wish I could.
Let me say real quick before we get too far into it. So we're in Townsend. Someone sent me I think an email or something, but I'm gonna try to look it up. And I'm not sure where I got it. So if you're still interested in helping move the truck, or anybody else that's in the Townsend, Georgia area, we need to get the truck, which is in St. Mary's. So send me an email, mike@michaeljsteen.com, or a message on Facebook at Michael J.
Where are we again?
Michael Steen. it's like we're pretty much in BFE, but I guess the town is the mailing address is Townsend. He said the name of it's before, it's just after. Hang on a second. we just literally got here, just pulled in, like
Yep. Just before the store.
Hinesville
Hinesville.
and Midway, and let us know. But
I'm in the market for a new anchor because my anchor is no bueno.
it sucks.
Oh my God, we drove till nighttime last night. I dropped my anchor, put 100 foot of chain out in 10 foot of water, dragged the anchor.
But I gotta believe he was on the shell bed or something, because once you set the second time, stuck.
It did hold me the
Yeah.
second time, but I was in no, I'll take it back. I was in 17 foot of water first, probably too steep of an angle,
Possibly.
and then I wound up moving again. But man, a bigger anchor would be so nice.
It is. It's a challenge when you drag in your anchor. You don't know. It's hard to sleep when you do that.
Yeah, I sleep, and I keep reaching for the phone, and I'm like, okay, I'm not dragging. I look at my anchor alarm, and at one point last night, right after midnight, I look at the phone, and it shows you how many meters from your anchor you are. And the numbers are ticking off: 10, 11, 12, 13, 18, 20, 22, 25. I'm like, oh God, oh my God. So I get out and I check my chart plotter, and there's the icon for a boat in a straight line from where I was. I'm like, and then all of a sudden the alarm starts blaring, but I caught it before it went off. I wasn't asleep.
So a typical day, or the
So
past
tired.
2 days, this is where if you watch sell-in channels and channels where people are moving like we are, this stuff happens where St. Mary's, to fuel the boats, take the dog to the vet, and we wanted to be underway early, but we didn't even get underway until.
Axel, Mike, did you flip the ferry boat captain the bird? Did you?
No, I should have. They were watching live when that boat was sitting in front of us.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in captain school, they teach you to make your intentions clear. And he was making his intention clear. Like, dude, I'm going that way. You go around that way.
In front of me at the marker. That's what was crazy. He was going
Yeah.
towards the marker.
Yeah.
But and then so we did the dolls, and then we moved, and we just made it till dark.
That's a nice place.
We just made it till dark, and then dropped the anchors, and then back up this morning at daylight, and we did.
That's what the bug spray.
That's a good question. What do you think the bug spray's for? Can you see it? And then Marty's got some show and tell.
Yes.
What do you think that's for?
Anybody ever been to Georgia? Salt marshes? What's in the spray bottle?
We'll
There's bug spray in the.
Yeah, there's bug spray.
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
guesses why?
Say hi to Thomas English. Say what's up. And glad to hear the pups are well. Thank you. Buffering is only half the problem. Uh-oh. Bugs. Good answer, Paul.
Good answer. You need to show.
No CMs. Nope.
Nope, not necessarily a bug.
One of the hardiest sons of, that I've
It's great.
encountered.
It was crazy. That's all I can tell you. It was crazy.
You are right. They were bugs, and I got a like I don't know. A couple days ago, I bought an electric bug zapper. It looks like a tennis racket. I feel like a nut chasing these things around. I'm from Rhode Island. Horseflies.
There you go. You sure?
They are. I don't think they're horseflies. This is what I caught between today and yesterday. This is my shot glass of bugs. Can you see that? That's disgusting.
They're huge, huge horseflies.
They're so hard to kill. Yeah, I mean they're big. They're like yellow flies,
So I think about twice as big as yellow flies. Some of them.
and they're hardy. Man, I was swatting them, and you see this bzz, 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 like electrical arcs coming off, and then they would just fly away.
The thing is, earlier, like
Yeah,
if I guess if I hadn't had that bug spray, we wouldn't have been in here because there was no less than 100 on my front windshield, and they were chasing it. They were following the boat. like they can fly faster than the boat can move.
Looks like Bates is.
And actually, I've been feeding them to my lizard. I got Larry the lizard on board. He's my pet lizard. But
Yeah, it's true.
yeah,
It's
I
cool,
mean,
right?
it's unbelievable how many there were. Anyways, I sprayed this. I came in here. I sprayed this. It wiped them out in here. Just happened to have that, thank God. And then I went up top, and I was spraying them and I also had some regular bug spray. Because, dude, I mean, they were attacking us. Good Lord.
You know, Nate Long says they bite, and they do, but they take their sweet time. They don't just run up, bite you, and fly off. They loiter, and if they land on you, it takes a bunch of seconds before they start to dig that square mortise and chisel that they have on their face into your flesh. It takes a minute, and I don't think I got a single bite today.
Oh, I got them. They got
Did you?
me in the back. Because by the time you feel it, they've already got you. You get to them.
I was driving and swatting and driving and.
I should have got it zoomed in and got some pictures of that.
Oh my God.
No, think about that.
Disgusting. So that's for my scrapbook. Someday, like people have like ticket stubs and stuff. I'm gonna have a shot glass full of bugs to remind me of Georgia. There's been so much cool stuff in Georgia too, though.
So we're at Dallas Bluff Marina. One of the owners here, he came out in his boat, met us, and brought us back in to work us. It's a little ways back in here, and showed us the way in because it was a little bit of a challenge. With a map, you could do it, no problem without that. But what a super nice guy coming back.
So nice.
Met his mom. His mom's 90 years old, lives right there.
Yeah, just over the top nice.
Well, probably can't do a once around after this because it's y'all know if you look on the map, we're covered the area in rain. There's a front blowing in. That's what the other thing is. We were real blessed today because we did. It was probably more miles today. Yeah, we probably
60.
Yeah, we did
almost.
probably 60 miles today.
10 hours probably.
Daylight till just a while ago.
We stopped, and for the very first time, what did we do today?
Oh yeah, we had to break our fuel rule. We've been trying not to fuel at a marina, and we just put it on what was necessary. But I guess really what happened, I'm thinking about it, we got in a hurry yesterday, and we didn't put on as much fuel as we normally do, because we normally do 2 runs apiece.
Yep.
And we're good. But trying to get underway and trying to make some miles.
Beat the storm.
That's what we're trying to do. And we did. And we made it. And we're here. Now we're tied to a dock. Be here for a few days. The relaxing, the videos. And when you're tied to a dock.
Sleep so good.
Yeah,
The AC's on in my boat.
Yep.
Thank the maker. Somebody mentioned a mantis anchor holds really good. The owner of this place offered me a giant Danforth anchor. And I had my heart set on a Spade or a
Rockna.
The one with the arc on the top. So I've heard rave reviews about that, read a lot of articles. That's what they say.
Everybody says that's the one to use, but we got to find one.
You don't have to hurt your eyes. Just listen and you don't have to hurt your eyes. Thank you, Jim. That's true. What is he saying? When we're offensive to your eyes? I'm kidding. Yes, no. A buddy of mine, my buddy Richie, who's still back in Tampa, mentioned that he would watch these as if it were a podcast. Like he's doing his work and he would just listen to it as he worked. Because he's like, there's not much other than us sitting here, but it's more about a talking thing, like a Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, it's a challenge. That's the challenge of doing lives. Bringing it to you live is you never know whether you're gonna have good service or not. I suspect we're up against the island. This place, every place in here,
Face for radio.
every place they have Wi-Fi. I don't know if that out here.
Uh-oh. Look at that.
Oh.
Oh man, yeah. I'm watching the live feed, and it's spotty at best. So happy hours. Thank you. What's the updates? Pretty much. We're moving
Yep.
north.
Moving north. We did talk about depends on how long we're here, a possible meetup here, which is probably a decent little place. But like you're just glad to see this in video when you can see it from overhead. But it is like this, like almost the entire way. So what is 50 miles by the way the crow flies is 70 miles by the way the water is. So we're gonna try our best to get out, but we're gonna wait until it's perfect weather so we can get out. Because then you're fighting the tides. What you go from inlet to inlet, and it's not even inlets; it's just tributaries. 1 minute you're running 10, the next minute you're running 6. It's crazy.
I was content most of the way. There was very little boat traffic, although
Yeah.
it was terrible weather, and it's Wednesday. And it is Wednesday, right? And so that part was nice. I mean, the bugs were awful. I did nothing but swat bugs the whole way.
It's true. Every time I look back, he was spotting bugs
yeah.
in the. It looked like a window in his front
A window what? Tied to a dock. This is quite a place. It's got tons of character,
Yep,
and it's kind of right
Yep.
up our alley.
yep.
Man, the thing is buffering like crazy.
Gosh,
Already
we're gonna
asking,
listen. Yeah, we're gonna listen.
put your Wi-Fi device near the window. Da, da, da.
All right, let me try that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Update on the boat rescue. Boat rescue. Anthony Grasso's asking, how's your props and rudder? The boat rescue. Did you mention that? Like
Oh yeah, I just said it was dragging.
dragging
I'll
the
let you tell the story.
Again,
May
it's
wanna
been
be
stressful. Like we went for a walk on Cumberland Island. We come back.
I said there was a boat dragging, and I didn't. I left it. I didn't say that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
nobody knows what it is.
Okay.
Not only going to do it.
Oh, the tanker rescue. Somebody's asking. No, well, we come back from a walk on Cumberland Island, and here's the vista opening up as we walk out of the trees, and Mike is like, "Oh, I don't see Good Times, or I don't see Kontiki."
I was
You're like,
kidding.
You were kidding.
I was kidding.
And we turn the corner. I'm like, I don't see my boat.
And his boat should have come into view first.
Yeah, I see Good Times first, and I see mine way behind you. And by then, I knew darn well that there's a sandbar there. So I realized my anchor drag while we were not on the boat. What's funny is it held for a terrible blow.
Oh yeah, windy, super windy.
Yeah, and then we decide, okay, it's good because it's not blowing hard. We go for a walk. I come back. The boat is on a sandbar, and I was pulling you in your new dinghy because you're having motor issues, the outboard issues, and so I'm pulling him and our new friend back to the boats. And Mike is like, just go to yours. So we come up to my boat, and I see it more bottom paint than I'm used to seeing, because I'm clearly on the sandbar. It's mud.
Yeah, yes,
It was
mud.
Very soft mud. But I pull up to my boat, and the tide was coming in. Thank goodness. Many things happened that could have been disastrous otherwise. And Mike jumped out up to like about here and started pushing on my boat as I pulled the anchor and got me free and back into the deep water. And then later that night I dragged again.
Yeah, people ask, is there any damage? I just haven't responded, but it doesn't seem like it. Because we were in mud. He was in mud, and you
Yes.
could see.
I've gone quite a distance,
Yeah,
and without vibrations or anything like that.
Like 100 miles.
Yeah, and I pushed pretty hard, occasionally, no vibrations, so I think I'm good. The port motor
Yeah, that was.
overheats a little bit, and the cure seems to be, if it sits for too long, I crack the strainer top, and air comes out, and then water, and when water comes out, I close the strainer top, start the motor, and it doesn't overheat for hours and hours and hours. So it's like a vapor lock happening in the raw water intake. Could that have been a result of going aground? Maybe.
My guess is it doesn't do it anymore, and there was a little bit of mud in there, and the air that he's hearing, I think, is a vacuum, and but because you ran all day today with no like 60 miles.
Yep. I'll give you an example. There were some times where I would go out driving around on the boat when I first got it, and I had the brand new air conditioning system. And when I got back to the dock and I tried to run the AC, there'd be no water coming out, and I have to pull one of the AC hoses until water came out, and there was no air. And it must have something to do with the level of the hoses. Water gets in, or air gets in there.
We're buffering.
We are buffering.
Screws.
Oh my God. Are we still on? Can you hear us?
I don't think so. There's not even moving.
What's
Let's-
not
let's
moving?
There's no questions. Let's
See
just wrap it
question.
up and then we'll do.
Burping the strainer. Yes, he's answering. Happy Hours knows what's up. Yes, says Jeff. Good. We can hear you just fine. All right, good.
Oh, okay.
Sweet. So yeah, that again another issue. But I ran a long time today. Stopped for fuel, shut the motors, started them back up. Everything's good.
I bet that problem's solved. I think that's.
Yeah.
it-
Yeah,
it's-
the heat exchanger and
Yeah. So I have problems with my outboard. I'm not sure if I told y'all, but I ordered a carburetor. Taking this carburetor, brand new carburetor, and it wouldn't stay running. One of some friends on the dock did some tests. We did some electrical tests and couldn't get any readings on the ignition coil. It's kind of funny because had been having trouble with coils, that seems to.
be the theme, right?
Yeah. So I waited to do some tests before I ordered that coil because it was $175.
Ooh.
And so I ordered that, put it on there. It does crank better. It does run a little better, but it won't come all the way up to speed. It'll usually cut out. So I'm gonna have to reach out to somebody, some outboard guru. I was talking to the guy here. There's a couple people around. If not, I have to take it somewhere because having the dinghy is a lot of fun. We did some crabbing. I got that on video. Caught some blue crabs.
Yeah, Mike was throwing the cast net from Cumberland Island, from Sea Dock. If you know where that is, it's just a muddy bank, and he was throwing his cast net into the water. You caught a little flounder. You caught some mullet. You caught a shrimp.
Biggest shrimp I think I ever seen. It's funny, I didn't actually catch it. It wasn't in the net.
You scared it.
When I pulled the net up, it was in front of the net, and I pulled it up on the bank. And I kid you not, this shrimp was that big.
Enormous.
I got a picture of it.
Yep.
Yeah, somewhere it's probably on that phone. Actually.
Yeah, he caught more fish
Yeah.
than me by a long shot.
But then we went out and got 2 different times. We got blue crabs out of it. So that was kind of fun. So, anyways, I think.
Picky's out with that beer swap. Yeah. Good. Can you see? We are high class here.
Are y'all still hearing the audio? Is it good? Because this thing's sitting here just like spinning.
How
like
did you
a-
drag that night? How far did I drag? Rick asked. Well, when I wasn't on the boat, I drug right up to the sandbar.
200 yards, probably.
A long way. I set my anchor alarm with 100 feet of chain out. You got to have my anchor alarm is set at like 70 meters.
That's
7.8.
3. That's
No,
200.
no, that can't be 70. Yeah, at one point I did have it at
3
70.
times 7 is 210 feet.
Yeah, because you're from where your anchor is, you could be 100 feet this way, and you can spin around this way, and that's 200 feet away.
The thing is like he said, it'd been there 2 days under heavy wind. This day it was calm. I didn't even make sense. I don't
Yep.
know what could have happened other than
Yeah, and
maybe
if you
the
don't
tide
have
swing.
space to swing like that, you can't have that much anchor rode out. And I understand more and more why people go to marinas when they're on long trips like this, because it can be stressful when wind comes, and it has been very windy. So says the locals.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, the past couple of weeks have been very windy. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can attest to that because I can barely sleep. I wish man.
Oh, Ken asked, did you find out anything on the abandoned crab trap? No, I didn't. So for those that didn't know, there was a crab trap that was
Mhm.
It apparently washed up and it was in shallow water. It looked like the crab guy wasn't. I went over. I didn't touch it. It's illegal to touch them, and that you can get some serious issues with that. But the problem was there was like there was a dozen crabs. Half of them had been eaten by the other crabs, so it was catching crabs, but then they weren't getting it. You know, because I told Marty, I said, what happens when like a crab man, somebody that's a crabber, and they freaking die, and they got all their crab pots out there? I mean, because this crab, either this thing washed up or something, but it kind of sucked because there was crabs in there.
That used to happen across from the kayak rental place. Sometimes crab traps would float by because the float is buoyant enough to lift the trap up and move it.
Yeah, they're really light.
Yeah. So thank you for the
Warbird.
Thank you.
Warbird.
So anyways, I would watch them float by, and then some would gather on shallow areas that would go underwater during high tide, and I would watch boaters hit them. And you know that trap is their ghost fishing, I think they call that, right? Where it's catching with nobody there to check it. And it seemed terrible, so I looked it up, like, how do I do something about that? And the answer I got was, you don't touch it. Whatever you do, you get in a lot of trouble if you touch somebody else's trap, even if you're trying to do the right thing. The fines were very, very steep, including possible revocation of your fishing license forever. That's pretty harsh if you're trying to just get rid of junk in the water. The person that put the trap there, if they can find them, they get fined like was it like $5, $15 a trap, or whatever it was. It was ludicrous. Like, it's almost not worth your money to go and clean up your derelict traps.
And the reason I didn't, because I was actually I was asking people like, who is the equivalent to FWC in Florida? Because I was going to call whoever, but
I never thought of that.
But then
Florida Wildlife.
Yeah, so Georgia has DNR, Department of Natural Resources. Yep. So we met a guy named Jeff at St. Mary's, and he said, because I was telling him, I told him about that trap, and then I said there was two around the corner that the floats were like so gnarly with stuff you couldn't imagine anybody touched it. But the guy said, he's like, oh no, he's like, we know some people like that. He's like, they never keep them clean. And the thing is, because you about run over them with your boats. Of course, you run over it with your boat, snatches it right up in your prop, it shuts your engine down.
Yeah, it's a hazard to navigate.
Yeah, and so anyways, really, that is the reason I didn't. I was like, well,
I think you guys be careful with your crab traps. If yours isn't registered, you could be in big surprise. Regulations, you 50. So Peter said about this is a good thing to try. Peter, I'm going to do this. I'll let you know that he had the same problem. He says fuel lines. I was actually just thinking that I need to, as a cheap fix, because you can buy fuel lines. I can cut them off, cut them. So I'm going to do that to see. But I do know, so FYI, like the first thing when I thought it was the carburetor, so I ordered a new carburetor. Then I thought, well, it could be the fuel pump, but we double checked that. I pulled it loose while it's running and it's pumping fuel. Not under load though.
Yeah, not under load, not under hard, but enough to even when it was shutting off. That's why we went to electrical. We were thinking it was electrical.
It might be letting enough fuel through to look like it's leaking all over the place, but when you put it under load, it needs a lot of fuel maybe?
I don't know. I will try that to see, but I think it's like a lot of things. You get the right guru and he's like, oh yeah, it's whatever. And they fix it, so we'll figure it out, but anyway.
It'd be nice to have a 15 on that anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, what I've noticed now from after talking to people, a ton of people don't like 4-stroke. They go with 2 strokes. And if you start looking at a lot of the dinghies, they're mostly 2 strokes.
Right.
They don't want to fool with the big weight of the 4-stroke.
Right.
And apparently you can get 2 strokes a lot cheaper. if I may
Yeah,
end
I
up
mean,
there.
Yep, a lot of people are taking motors on and off all the time,
Yeah.
so a two-stroke is much more
Yep,
desirable, I guess.
yep. So and it's more simple. It's just a lot. You just got to make sure you fuel.
You've got to look cool on that chin.
I'll wait for somebody to notice that. So when Marty when we took the dogs, I sat in the truck waiting on him. I looked over, and there was I seen
Someone doesn't have the cash
a
to
haircut
make the loop.
place, and I ran over, got my hair cut, told the guy, I said, "Man, this thing is driving me crazy." So we come up with this little chinny chin thing right here.
Can I answer? Connor Jacobs asks, any advice for someone who doesn't have the cash to make the loop? He's 25 and would love to do it, but he doesn't have the capital to buy a large enough vessel. Thoughts?
Great question.
I've got
We can
thoughts.
spend a lot of time answering that one.
Yeah. Well, my short answer is I've seen people in very small vessels doing thousands of miles.
Yes, doing it well.
And I saw, well, probably isn't cheap, but I saw a platinum looper, meaning this guy has done multiple loops.
Yep,
Older gentleman, remember he asked us for the pass in that small boat, like a dory or something.
it's a Dory,
It had a 200 on the back.
like a Merc or
Yep,
Honda.
just a
Something.
single outboard, and it was so tiny. But there was him and his wife.
Yep,
They
that's all
pulled
you
up
needed.
Yep.
It was probably a
very low, very fast, and you can get across big expanses. Like
Yes.
today would have been real nice for us to just get on plane and go because there was nothing to see. There was lots of bugs.
right.
We were trying to beat a storm. Would have been a great opportunity to go fast. This person was in a smaller vessel, and he clearly knew what he was doing because he flew the burgee up on the front of his boat that said that he had done the loop many times. So the answer your question is, if you have the will to do it, you find a way. I regret sometimes having a big boat.
Sometimes.
Costs a lot of fuel. There's a lot of places we can't go because we draw too much. We're too deep under the water, and there's a lot of worries. It's you can do it, man. You can do it when you set your mind to it.
Let me say this, Connor. I bought a boat in 2002, a 23. There's a lot of these models out there. It's got a little cuddy cabin. Actually, the one I had a little aft cabin and the motor in the back. 350. It's a single engine. The only downside to that is if you break, something happens to that motor. But here's what you do: you buy the boat. You can buy them boats all day long for just a few $1,000, $2, $3, $4, $5,000 if you're willing to do some work to it. And what you do is you spend your money on a new engine, like what we did with Marty's. Spend $2,000-$3,000. Now, if you can't do the work yourself, it's going to probably cost you a little bit more. But the boat is the boat. It's just the vessel. If you put the new engine in there, the loop, and like you're talking about pulling up the islands, we can't pull up the islands like you could in a small boat like that.
And if that's doable, great. But then a second question happens: how do you make a living? At 25, I mean, you need money for gas. You need a job.
There's a ton of people that work for a couple years. If you do it on the cheap, like we're going to show you, like we've been doing, like we until today, we have not bought fuel from a marina, so we're buying it at cheaper prices. If you stay on the hook a lot, you don't spend a lot of money. If you go to marinas, you're going to spend a lot of money. You can do the loop. I think you can do the loop in a small boat for $15,000 to $20,000. Here's another option: do the loop in segments. There's a lot of people doing that. They'll take that smaller 23, 26 foot boat, and they'll do, let's say, like what we've done in Florida. They might do the Florida and then pull the boat out.
Yeah.
Work for a while. So there's a lot of options. People do it different ways.
Yeah, you don't have to do it in one season.
You don't need to be rich like a lot of these people that pull up to the
You got
marina.
a problem with old people.
I don't know. I ain't got a problem with old people. I'm there, but I'm just saying you don't need to do it that way.
Take offense to them.
There's a lot of people out here doing it. Hopefully, as we get going with these videos, we can show you, but it's a challenge to do. But there's a lot of options of doing it.
Yes, and I think if you have the will to do it,
Yep.
nothing is going to stop you.
Nope.
Um,
I worked many years to build up to this. Like I worked many years I was wanting to go the whole time when I was a fireman, but
Well, we just
I
saw it.
couldn't.
It's some shame we didn't meet up with the fire dancer and
yeah, we missed him.
what was the guy's name? Dave, maybe.
John was
John.
John, yeah.
John was super nice. I didn't get to see him much because what he was doing was he was pulling up to a place, and he had a good reputation for being a mechanic, I think. And he would find jobs
As a matter of fact, I'm hoping to find him.
in various locations, and then do some work, take the money he's got, and move on.
Yes.
And they
Yeah.
had a little boy with them
Yep.
that they were homeschooling, and they had all the challenges that would deter many people from doing it.
She
But
started a TikTok.
Yep.
She was up to making $50 a video or a TikTok. Here's another thing, we tell this, we keep telling everybody we meet, but there's not a finite to YouTube. There's not a finite to TikTok, whatever. Here's the deal. If you're a doer, and like you're going to do this trip, there's going to be people that want to follow you and see what you're doing. I'm telling you that to be a fact.
the ritual
So-
goes with their mega yacht, I'll kayak it. Heck yeah. Yeah, Connor, there's, you know what, we met a couple of guys with pedal drive kayaks, the sail kayaks, Hobies, the tandem islands, and I was jealous. They can pull up wherever they want, whenever they want, pretty much. The sandbars all over the place. They could just stealth camp or anchor up. You drag anchor and you're on the ground. So what?
No big deal.
So
And
what?
everybody is so interested in that.
And they kept
Like
up
that.
with us.
Yeah.
They're keeping up with us. I mean, we might get there an hour or two earlier, and then boop, 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 boop,
Here they
boop,
come.
here they come.
It's like the hare and the
tortoise.
rabbit. The hare and the tortoise. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Hare and the tortoise. Mountain Man Jim Reddick, you just liking that, ain't you?
Oh my
You
God.
probably gonna cut yours.
Tired of the big sexy references. All right, with your goatee.
Now that thing driving me crazy. I don't know how people do it. To be honest.
What's
with
that?
you. The
Oh.
whole like on your neck and.
Yeah, I'm constantly.
But see, my deal is mine beard won't grow like a lot of people. Mine tries to spin up.
I did have a long goatee once. It helped me think because I would just stroke my beard and like I would have these revelations. So all you guys with beards out there, I get it.
I just heard what's the Duck Dynasty guys
Oh,
talking about today that people with beards, they were like they're more they got more stuff inside of them than like dog butts, I think is what they said.
Oh my
There was a
God.
study done. You got more stuff growing in there. That's what he was saying. But hey,
Oh,
I don't really
like
know,
a flavor saver kind of thing. going
whatever
on?
stuff
Mm.
like mites and whatever. You don't know what you got growing up in there. You never know.
It's like a grab bag, you know. You get used to it. Mountain Man, doesn't he have a big beard?
He does.
Yeah.
Good Lord, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
You notice I left it. Yeah, I think it made me look older, personally. All the white. See, this is darker right here in the middle.
I don't know.
Okay, see that.
They got like dye you can put in there.
I know, I don't do that crap. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Oh.
Actually, the main thing is driving me crazy. That's why.
Mud flap. Is that what that's called? D. Hausberg says mud flap. Thanks, D'Artagnan. Well, the two men ran. I was thinking of doing a portion of my jet ski.
You could do it.
Heck yeah. You'd be able to do it quick.
Think out of the box, man.
Haul it out,
Absolutely.
have a friend pick you up.
Maybe a jet ski pulling a little pack or something, something small for your camping gear. There's all kind of options like
I
that.
saw a couple of guys pulled up to my boat, fans of my channel, and they had jet skis. And sometimes I'm not, I don't say nice things about jet skis, so it was like, hey, how's it going? Hi. They were super cool. They had multiple gas cans on the back section of these large jet skis. And they asked us where Ferdinand Beach was.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, it's like 17 miles that way. And they're like, that's it? And I'm like, that's it.
Yeah, because they could be there in like 30 minutes. or
Yeah.
something.
Shoo. off they went. So
I can see advantage of getting up and running. Like these
Doable.
storms, we didn't quite make it in the day, and it caught us.
almost.
We almost made it, and it got us about 10 minutes out. But
Somebody asked, do you know Kevin Campbell? Randy Ruth asked. Kevin Campbell. There's that ran aground and those who lie about it. Karen?
that is 100% correct,
I don't know how many times I touched bottom so far.
guys. We
That sounds
keep
dirty.
saying
I don't touch.
we keep saying we're trying to keep it real. We're trying to tell you everything that happens. And here's some people look at it. Let me say this: people look at it like
Used to be
like you're messing up. I'm telling you, it's stories. When this stuff happens, we can sit here and tell story after story. So when you do it, don't be afraid for the crap to go south. Because honestly, if you got them run every day and nothing ever happened, it would be a little bit boring. There's no question about it. We got stuff happening every day. It's just like, actually, this trip was one of the, today.
I'll say one of the prouder moments I've had, and it's small, fleeting thought. It's not a big deal, but I found myself being kind of proud because we pulled up to St. Mary's to do a little provisioning to take the dogs to the vet, and there's a dock there, boats perhaps, but there's no signs that says size limit. So we pull up, we raft up, we did a good job with that.
Yep.
We met Jeff, super nice guy, and we did what we had to do. We got the dogs to the vet, we got fuel, we got food, beer, and then we're coming back, and there's a bait shop. A couple of guys hanging out at the bait shop. One of them asked me, where are you going to roll that fuel, Bermuda? And I said, no, actually New York. And he gave me a look like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm not kidding. We're going to New York, then we're going to go to the Great Lakes, and then we're going to go down to Mississippi, back to Tampa, where we started. And he looked at me, and all of a sudden he realized I was serious, and his demeanor changed from kind of razzing us to being jealous. And it's not jealous, but respectful. For, wow, you guys are, oh, you're doing that big circle thing, yeah. And I said, yeah. And he opened up for a moment. His attitude changed. He mentioned some times in his past. He was an older guy. And he said, oh, man, there was a time in the 70s, when he talked about a journey that he went on. And I felt simpatico with this person that I had just met, who probably would have looked at me like I'm just some schmuck boater. And instead, I told him what I was doing, and it elevated me in that person's mind. And it made me feel good, like I am actually doing something amazing.
That's going to get better and better, because when I brought the boat down, I've told Marty the story a few times. When you start somewhere and you're close to the same area, if you say where you're going, a lot of people say what they're going to do and they never do it. But when you say, like when we say, well, we're from Tampa, that's 600 miles the other way. But as we work up the coast and people say, well, where you come from? Florida. Then they're like way more impressed, because they're like, Florida? How'd you, now imagine once we in the Great Lakes. And so for those that way up in the Great Lakes, they look at down here once we make that distance. But for them, it's home.
Florida, what did you JetBlue, United Airlines, how'd you get here? No, we took our boat here. Woohoo, a little crazy.
Scott
Hollywood
Elders.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, so I say this, but YouTube takes 30%. If you want to donate to Marty's funds, like for the water thing, we can draw on a blank.
The water,
but he has a
loop?
PayPal. Yeah,
You having a senior moment?
I'm having a senior moment. Anyways, all I'm saying is he has a PayPal account. It's cheaper because they take 30% on here. So I appreciate whenever y'all give us beer money.
Account, then.
Yeah, and I have one, and we appreciate this. No doubt about it. But if you want to donate, it's better to do it that way. Just go to his what's it?
Yeah, it's. I mean,
Just that's the best way of doing it. I just like to say because if you donate like $15, they take like friggin' $5 of it or whatever. So, anyways, we
Yeah.
appreciate that.
yeah.
Thanks a lot.
I appreciate you, man. Every dollar helps because so many things come up. I worried because a bunch of big expenditures came out, not just fuel. You're throwing hundreds of dollars. That's why a smaller boat's better, I think, because we're throwing hundreds of bucks quite often at fuel for, even if we get it ourselves at a gas station. And then the heat exchangers, and then the dogs.
Heat
and
exchangers. What I was trying to think of.
Yeah. So yeah, right. But I mean, there's so many big things that cost so much money, and you guys helping really kind of keeps me from saying, whoa, I can't do it. And it's not just the folks who are donating money; it's people that are giving us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
People that are saying, awesome for you guys, and showing us encouragement. The guy at the bait shop who said, man, I wish I could do that. There's so many folks that are doing things that are encouraging me. And if we're encouraging you, then I swear to you, it's a two-way street.
Joe said, Mike, how about that boat? Oh, yeah, the other day I was live and a big boat cut in front of me. Everybody was watching it live, seen it. It was a ferry, and he had probably 50 people on there, and he just trying to go between me and a sign. It was crazy, but anyway, we couldn't do nothing.
He was going slow.
Beers on Ryan Smith from New York. Gentlemen, safe travels. Thank you so much, buddy.
From New York. Forget about it. Thank you. I appreciate you. That's awful nice.
Hey, he says, excellent. So you should start. I got one for you.
Souvenirs and the stops. I got my
Yep.
shot glass full of freaking bugs.
I found this rock. Some of you have seen it. I thought I found a space rock or something. Come to find out it's coal. Somebody sent me, but it's kind of cool. It's shiny. We found that on Cumberland Island. So
I saw on MythBusters once. You can take a turd and shine it.
really,
Yeah. So.
well, see, I have seen lots of coal, and I'd never seen any shiny like that. But that could have come from the water, whatever. But so mementos are cool.
The water. Yeah.
I'll always remember where that came from.
Thank you.
Cumberland Island's a cool place, y'all. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's another thing that keeps me going is just simply looking out. You said it once today when we were on our way here. You're like, dude, I'm just taking in the moment. We're driving along this path and we're looking at salt marshes, miles of it. Nothing around but salt marshes and dolphin and...
You got to stop and smell the roses, and we were.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
We're worried about beating the storm. We're worried about making our miles. The engines doing their thing, not running out of gas. And then every once in a while you stop and you look at what you're doing and you're like, holy crap, this is so awesome. And then you go right back into being, I mean, for me at least,
Guys, next week I'm gonna show you a little bit of this. I'm gonna try to do some more live streams while we're on the way.
$20 from Tan, thank you.
D'Artagnan.
Yeah.
$20. That's a beer out there, boy. Well, D'Artagnan. That's a case of beer.
You got to come and drink some of it. We're getting further and further away from people that I knew in Tampa.
I keep hearing this, but we haven't seen it.
What? What do you think about?
Oh, is that thing? That's what that. Remember,
I
I kept saying, "What is that?"
Yep. Dude, that.
What is it? Do you know what it is? I got pictures of it. It's on that phone.
Scott Hollywood Outdoors. He says, "What do you think of that huge salvage operation in the St. Simon Sound?" And I commented on it. I didn't know what it was, but I marveled at the fact that something that big can exist.
What is it, Scott? Do you know what it is?
He's salvaging. They're probably picking
up.
What
was it?
It was probably a sunk ship, and they're just kind of picking it up. And I'm assuming.
I got pictures of it. Y'all will see it eventually, but it's huge. It looks like, it's as big as there's a crane there.
Russell says it's a space rock. That's what I thought it was.
All right, good. I like it. See,
Yep.
see, I thought it was a space rock.
Yeah, it's probably going to make you develop some sort of growth.
cargo ship full of
Caius
car.
getting chopped
says
into steaks by chain. Full of.
It doesn't, no, this thing ain't no. It doesn't look like a freighter, Tommy. It's like Well,
No,
I tell you what we thought it was at first. We thought it was a bridge. Remember?
Yeah, but
we thought it was a.
You may not have seen it. I looked back several times, and at one point you could see that it was cradling something that looked like it was sunk. And those cranes would, I would assume it was like a pontoon, and then an enormous thing with these enormous shackles, like these chain falls, and they were trying to pick something up out of the water. So they cradled it, and they were trying to lift it up, and that could be a salvage thing.
Well, first I thought it was like they were building a bridge because remember there was pylons.
Yep.
It looked like they were building a bridge with these big cranes. So whatever that is, it's huge. I mean, it's freaking huge.
Oh, this is a cargo ship that overturned.
Oh, okay.
That would make sense.
Yeah, and remember how big those things are from Jacksonville?
Mm-hmm. Cars. That's what he's saying. It was full of cars.
Oh, the superstructure is
Huge
for
car
running
carrier
this.
that ran
Okay.
around. Yeah. Wow.
See, I remember someone mentioning that. It might have been Matt or someone that had mentioned to look out for that. I didn't know that's what it was when we seen it.
It was impossible to miss.
Yeah.
Just an enormous thing on the water. That was very, very impressive. I think I said something as I was filming. I'm like, I constantly marvel at the ingenuity of man. And you see a lot of that from the water.
Scott Hollywood said they're chopping it up.
Yep. Wow. Cutting it in sections. So crazy. My mother-in-law fell. They hoisted her up. Oh, yeah.
Good thing your mother-in-law ain't watching.
Don't let your wife.
What's up, Tony?
Yeah. My mother.
Oh, that's cool. I did a little research because I got pictures of it whenever we do the video about
Yeah.
that.
Now I know what it is. See? We
Huh.
not just subscribers, not just followers, teachers, hecklers.
Can y'all still see us? This thing's been just freaking stuck for.
Yeah.
It must be.
Maybe.
Huh?
Yeah. They're answering. So, yeah. When are you leaving?
So I'm running back for my second shot. I don't know, Thursday, Friday, depends on like whenever I hook up, and I'll be back Monday.
Thursday or Friday. So that's tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah, or the next day. Yeah. Today's Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a question myself. So, I mean, we might have one more live in us. Hopefully I have a little bit of time to sit and get some videos out.
I just about called you today and said, "Hey, man, I ain't seen no Salvager videos while we were underway." I was watching YouTube.
Yeah.
You get bored when you're doing that.
I wasn't bored at all. I was swatting frickin' flies all day. Goodness gracious. But yeah, there's a ton of people on this dock that I'll probably wind up having conversations with.
Yep.
The owner and his mom, and you get caught up. It's so hard to do because you're on this crazy journey, and the only way for me to make videos is to lock myself in my little dungeon and make my videos.
But it does help when you're on the dock because you ain't worried about everything, all
Yes.
the other.
Not worried about dragging anchor. There's always distractions. It's come to my attention. It's a revelation that once we're back, when we winter the boats 4 months from now, whatever it is, I'm gonna have a lot of work to do, and then we'll catch up.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Hopefully
The plan.
these are helping. That's why we do these.
Yeah.
We're telling you real time what's happening. Some of the streaming, you actually get to see it live, so there's nothing replaces the videos. I get it. But
There's a blackbird just hovering right outside the window.
I thought it was a bird here, but it's some kind of.
It's a cool place. We saw a cardinal, a couple other cool birds that they have.
One that
Rare
comes from
birds.
Cuba,
Yep.
and it winters right here on the Georgia, Carolina, Florida coast.
Yep.
Yep.
So many little things, and this guy's pretty cool. We should think about a meetup or something.
Yeah, there we we'll see if we end up staying here a little bit longer, because really we don't have to be in a hurry, because remember, it's a month per state that we can stay.
This is a small state though, so
It's a small
we
state.
should try to do it quicker than a month.
Yeah.
And then allocate a little more time, maybe a month, maybe 5 weeks for bigger states.
Well, really, if we get a chance, we're going on the outside for the next, because instead of that, and jump right to like
Not now. Look at the
Savannah.
boats.
Yeah, no, we're not doing it now.
The owner said he came by and he checked on everybody. Super nice guy.
He is.
So nice. And he was like, make sure you tie everything down. There's a blow coming tonight. I've been at many a marina. No marina owner ever gave a damn about it.
Or this is the first marina that came. The guy comes out and you follow him in.
Yeah, he
he
almost
doesn't want
has
you to
to.
run aground.
It's
Yeah,
tight.
it is tight in some areas.
Mm.
They don't have any. A lot of times marinas will put in, but it's a good little ways back in here, so it would cost them a ton of money to put in.
Gas prices at marina are crazy. Yes, they are. But oh my God, it's so convenient. It was so nice that we pulled it at this place. They had a wonderfully long, open, easy to dock fuel dock. I pulled up. The guy helped me tie up. He gave me the hose.
Yeah, when you go spend $300 or $400, he's real nice.
Convenience. Sometimes you pay a lot of money and there's no difference. Really.
Yeah.
The convenience is nice at a marina.
John Bailey says it's true, guys. Like the pipeline debacle is affecting most East Coast states for gasoline availability at the pumps, like here in North Carolina.
Yeah, right.
So check ahead.
Yeah.
Might be a reason we ain't in such a hurry to get out of here. So that's true. I mean, hopefully, like I ain't been watching much news, and I do usually watch the news. I read something about it, but I don't know the details. I guess they're trying to get it back by Friday. But I know here's what I just know about human nature. In the cities, people overreact. They run to the fuel, and then they suck it all out of the tanks, and they don't have any. Usually, out in the country, it's not that big of a deal. And we're out in the country.
78% of gas stations in North Carolina are out of fuel.
78% North Carolina. It's just like the toilet paper, people.
And just like when a hurricane's coming, all of a sudden plywood and generators are gone.
Wow.
You got all year to buy a generator.
Yeah. Wait till the last minute.
Once you buy one, once you live on a boat or in a tiny house or something, you have a generator. I'll never do without one again, ever.
But it is a good point. We'll have to pay attention, because
Yep.
if you
Maybe
can't
we
get
can
fuel,
buy one of these sailboats.
yeah, you're not like
I hate the wind. I hate the wind. It's getting windy
Look
now.
how he's rocking.
Dude,
He's
all of
rocking
us.
way worse. No, he ain't rocking that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
He's just
He's
taller than he
rocking
was.
bad. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We'll try to do a mug club when this weather's a little better. Maybe we can do it. They have Wi-Fi here, and then we'll be able to show you this dock, show you around. But appreciate y'all coming to hang out.
We got to batten the hatches.
Yep, we do got stuff to do, and
We're gonna sleep
we hadn't
in
ate
tonight.
all day. I just had a little nibble while ago. Like we got it this morning. We've been freaking kicking it. I ain't stopped.
Yep.
I hadn't ate all day.
I ate some wafers and coffee. I had milk with my coffee this morning. Woo-hoo-hoo. Thank you, St. Mary's, Circle K.
You super chatters, we appreciate y'all. Y'all good people. Nah, everybody that follow, we appreciate you. Y'all take care.